right, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Thank God. Thank God it's Friday. Um, we saw what happened yesterday. Very ugly. I think it was a few different things. First was, we'll wait a little bit for more people to come in, actually, before we get right into it. But there's a lot to look at today, so should be a good one. A lot of levels to watch. A lot of potential plays. So definitely excited for today. To see, I'm thinking, we might be able to see some bull traps, which could be a good opportunity. We'll have to see how the price action looks, when the market opens, especially on the tech side. The music is, it's in the description, I think, actually. Did I put it in the description? Let's see. Pretty sure it's in there. Sorry. Maybe not. Nope, it's not. I'll have to put it in the description. It's just it's a YouTube, like a free YouTube song on what's it called? It's called LA Sunset. I don't know. I'll get it in the description. Yeah, 1 second, Kasim. I'll do it. I gotta find it. Hold on, I can find it real quick. It's right here. It's on this mix. I think it's like one of the first or second songs. I don't know. Yesterday. Good morning, everyone. First of all, yesterday we saw what happened. A few different reasons. Big rejections off 14.7 again. 14.3. I'm sorry. 14.3 has been an absolute menace of a level. We have not been able to get over that level for, what is that? Almost 2 weeks now, right? Yeah, 2 entire weeks we have rejected off this 13 or 14.3 level. You guys can see that right there, right? So every time we come into that, we have some really heavy selling. So that started right at open yesterday. That happened right at open. We pushed into it, and we got a really nasty rejection. You guys can see right here. Boom, boom, boom. Rejection again at 13.7 or 14.3. There's so many levels now. 14.3. Huge level of rejection, and then just slip and slide. Very similar to the day prior, right? Except much larger. So here's your slip and slide the day prior. Push to 14.3, slide. Then you get a pre-market push to 14.3, and then even bigger slide. Yesterday, I think maybe the lack of, or what Jerome Powell said, or the lack of what he said is probably what caused a little bit more of the downside. I think the market was expecting more expecting him to be a little bit nicer, maybe. He said that, double rate hikes on the table, which I think is what the market needs to price in. He also said how the market is correctly pricing it. So he's sort of saying that the market may need to, it should be doing what it's doing. That's sort of what he said without actually saying it. You had Bullard talking about that the market's only pricing in some of what we're doing, and when we actually act, you'll see the actual reaction. So that was a little bit bearish as well. So just a little bit of I would just call it a little bit of concern, a little bit of uncertainty. You have uncertainty on the Fed, you have uncertainty on inflation, you have uncertainty on corporate earnings, you have uncertainty still in Russia, Ukraine. So when there's uncertainty, there's weakness, right? The market does not like to be uncertain. More direction and certainty was needed from Powell. Totally agree, INCE. Very, very true. Yep. And the market does not like uncertainty. So when the market's uncertain, it usually tends to go to the downside. And that is, I think, what we saw yesterday. So I've been very careful in this range. I've taken a few little, gut punches on a few different trades. But yesterday was a great day for me. Traded some upside on Tesla, traded some downside on Tesla, and ended the day up around 600, about $600 win yesterday. So made back, some of the little paper cuts that I got caught in between this range. And now we need to just look at some levels today and see what we can do. So let's go ahead and do that. Futures, as always, economic earnings calendar. I think we are done with the earnings this week. It's Friday, so it would be whatever's in the pre-market today. We had Snap yesterday. I really don't care about Snap earnings, to be honest with you guys. This morning we have. This morning we have Verizon, American Express. So we can take a look at those two. And then on the economic side of things, well, sometimes it's good and bad at the Fed talk, because we need the reason why it's good when the Feds talk is because you need some kind of certainty of a plan. But when they lack to give that plan. Basically, Jerome Powell didn't give much certainty. He just basically said that, we're going to use our tools, as always. We're going to, potentially do a double rate hike. So it's a lot of still question marks. Today, manufacturing PMI, I don't expect too much off this. This is at 9:45 today. And then next week, nothing on Monday. What else we got on? We got new home sales, home price, a lot of real estate stuff here on Tuesday. More stuff on real estate on Wednesday. Jobless claims, that's normal. And then Friday of next week, you got PMI, real consumer spending, nominal consumer spending. So you got some, consumer type data coming out. Employment, consumer type data on Friday. So not much on the economic. The next one is obviously going to be May, I don't think that's going to show me, but the next May Fed meeting is obviously what now we're all waiting for. So, all right. Tesla back under 1030. 1030 is a huge resistance level. You guys saw Tesla gave back everything yesterday, which I have to be honest, guys, as much as as bearish as we look here, there's going to be that time where Tesla's earnings get priced in, right? Because Tesla's earnings, I don't think anyone can argue, were fantastic. They were really good earnings. They had great gross margins. They are obviously still killing it on all cylinders. They did sort of say that there would be some Q2 headwinds. I don't know if anyone listened to the earnings call, but there were some Q2 headwinds because of the Shanghai Gigafactory. They expect there to be a little bit of difficulty on deliveries in Q2, but Elon said in Q3 and Q4 it's going to probably break records for delivery. So, the market's very short term. This is the reason why, I don't know if you guys are not familiar with, but you probably know about SpaceX, and this is the main reason why Elon does not want to take SpaceX public yet, is because SpaceX is a very longer term oriented business, and in the stock market, when you decide to go public, it is a very short-term window that you have to succeed on a quarterly basis to do well, for people to like your stock, for analysts to give good ratings, etc. When you have a company that really can't change much quarter over quarter, which is a stock like SpaceX, because their innovations are year by year, probably maybe multi-years. So it's a matter of when that actually happens, because they were very good earnings, but the market's just taking it down. And sort of what's going on. So NVIDIA, very ugly flush, guys. NVIDIA broke below a really important level yesterday, and it does not look good. AMD and NVIDIA are not looking good. Chip stocks continue to get wrecked, and there could be some short opportunities today on NVIDIA, absolutely, if the Nasdaq does slip. So definitely watching that. Google, major level on Google. It's literally sitting at the dollar amount of where it needs to hold. Again, too much uncertainty to play that to the long side here. Need more confirmation, but I'm just excited to see what it does, so I'm going to share it with you guys. Tesla, I already. Oh, I didn't change that one. Tesla levels today. We'll pop something else in there. Maybe leave it up for discussion at that bullet point there. I didn't change that. You can make up your own adjective for what happened to Facebook yesterday. Facebook got absolutely blank. Yeah, it did. Whatever you can make up, it definitely did exactly that. So Facebook got absolutely crushed yesterday. I'm going to use the word crushed because we are on YouTube, and I have to be careful of what I say. So I'll say Facebook got absolutely crushed yesterday, and you guys can make up what you feel that it did. But we'll look at Facebook. I'll show you guys where it came back down to, and what a crazy drop that was. New lows on crap tech. That's a new word for me. Crap tech. Roku, PayPal, Peloton, Upstart, Affirm, Roblox. What else is crap tech? There's a lot more. Maybe eBay made new low. No, I don't think so. Maybe Etsy is probably in that category. Zoom. Yeah. Crap tech made new lows. So we definitely saw, maybe not all of them, but almost all of them. Definitely PayPal. PayPal slipped right under new lows. And yeah, I mean, Netflix is crap tech too, yeah. But I'm talking about the ones that never even had a chance. But yeah, Netflix is one of them too. Never really had a chance either. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Those high valuation, sort of smaller tech names are now making new lows. So everything, I don't trade any of those for the most part. But yeah, I mean, maybe I've traded PayPal a few times for sure. Previous to this drop. I didn't think PayPal was crap tech, a year ago, but now it's definitely a different story. Boeing, nasty rejection, guys. We talked about that 188 rejection here every single day almost, and it happened. So watch out for that rejection. I'm going to reaffirm it with you guys, show you guys what happened to Boeing, just so you can get a good idea of how these rejections work. So yeah, I'm going to show you that. And then finally, let's take a look at oil, because oil has been interesting. It's been holding up. There's a lot of news. Bill Ackman tech. That's good. There's been a lot of news about EU banning Russian oil. How does that affect the price? Just some interesting stuff going on with oil prices. And CVX and XOM made double tops yesterday after a weekday for the XLE. But we'll see. I don't think it broke any type of major levels, so still maybe some upside. So we'll take a look at the oil sector at the end of the stream. After that, feel free to, if you are a member of this channel, if you are a supporter of the channel, if you press the join button down below, you have access to this Google Docs. And wow, you guys are on it today, huh? But we already have a bunch. Baba, Ulta, Lulu, Cat, AbbVie, Netflix. I like it. All right, so we got some stuff to work with. All right, let's do it. Nasdaq. So, what did the Nasdaq do yesterday? Well, let's go ahead and zoom in here. Let's stay on this time frame for now. So the first level that I was very interested in, guys, was 13,900. Right in this area, 13,900, right? Because we were holding 13,900 from back in here, right? You guys can see this is like a little bit of a quadruple bottom right here at 13.9. And then if we go to the right, you guys can see that we have a 13.9 hold here, which was earlier this week. We tried to hold it once again yesterday. And right here, guys, this move is not what you wanted to see, right? If you were bullish, you wanted to see that bounce off. And that is not what we saw yesterday. And that is what has changed my mind a little bit, or has made me totally hands off on the potential for upside in the short term after seeing this move. This move did not need to happen, right? You didn't want to see this move. So under 13.9, I think you sort of killed momentum there on the NASDAQ, unfortunately. Now, obviously this market's crazy, and we could see a push right back to 14.3. I am not counting that out whatsoever, because this has been an extremely volatile, guys. I mean, look at this. Every single day you get a move within this range. I mean, it's literally back and forth on an almost daily basis. So, could we see this? Yeah, why not? Why not? Why would you think that that's not possible? So, am I, careful of that? Yeah, I am, because that is definitely possible, which would be crazy. But what I am more interested in today, which I will show you right now, is a push into 13.9 and a rejection. That is what I'd like to see. That is what I'd like to see happen today, and I'd like to play that. Now, why? Because if you see this, that 13.9 level that I just talked about, if you see this move right here, guys, this is a very clean break and retest to the downside. If you start to see the momentum slow here, little double top, then I would be looking for this move right here. This would be awesome. If this move happens, I promise I will make a lot of money today. If this move is what exactly happens, which I definitely could see that occurring, I could see a morning bull trap, and I could see the rejection start to set in midday, and then I could see the slip starting to occur. That is something that is very common in this market. You get your morning bull traps, you get your push into resistance, and then you get your end of day slides. So I am definitely looking for this today. All right, this is my number one watch. I am not interested in playing this upside. This upside up until 13.9, I'm not interested in playing this. This leg of the bounce is dangerous. This is a very dangerous leg of a bounce because you are basically playing it into a major supply, and you're you're playing it into a major level of resistance. You could probably catch some if you guys are real quick with it, and Apple's really pushing. I mean, hell, that's great because I have way too many Apple shares. Yeah, a little bit. So, that leg of that bounce, I think, is going to be a little bit dangerous. So I'm going to be very cautious there. Right here, guys. Right? I'm more interested in seeing, does this start to reject, and do I play this? I think this is where their money is. So that's what I'm watching today, guys, on the Nasdaq. Push into 13.9, bull trap, and then rejection. I'll talk a little bit about this level. If you didn't watch my video yesterday, 13.7. You should watch my video yesterday if you did not. But if you didn't, 13.7 is the low of this wick low on January 24th. So the January 24th low is 13.706, which is right in there. Now, that is your last level before I think you move extremely quickly to 13,000. I don't think anything of Snap. I don't trade Snap. I have no interest in it. Sorry, I'll look at it later if I have time, or if someone in the members chat put it in there. But I got a lot more to look at than Snap. So 13.7, you guys can see last level right down here. You can see that you run it across. It's right where we held. This is the daily chart. Here's the 1 minute. Here's 13.7, right? So you guys see this level? 13.7. This is the last line of where we held yesterday, and it's just hanging on. It is just hanging on. So if we start to see a slip under 13.7 and a continuation under it, I think that is very bearish, guys, and I think you have a lot of room here to 13,000. So if you break this 13.7, I think you have a lot of room to 13,000. So just watch today for 13.7. If that holds up today, maybe there's some sympathy to the upside. Maybe there's the bull trap, or maybe, the last scenario is if we break 13.9 and we actually hold it as support, that would be a very interesting day. I would be shocked, but totally possible, right? If we break 13.9, which is your last possible scenario, if we break 13.9 and we hold it as support intraday, something like this, if we start doing this for like a few hours, that's pretty bullish, right? If you see something like this. So you have a few different scenarios, right? You have the push, the bull trap, or you have the push and the hold, or you just have the straight out downside out of the gates, right? So those are your three scenarios today. I think the most likely scenario is the push into resistance and the rejection. That's my most likely scenario today. My second most likely would be a push and hold. I don't think you're just going to slip out of the gates. I think there's going to be some battle here at this 13.7 level. But I could be totally wrong, guys. That's what I'm looking at today. All right, ES. So the ES is at a very interesting level, and it's definitely outperforming. I mean, this is actually a good-looking chart. You know, dare I say it, the ES is actually I still think, a bullish-looking chart. Nasdaq, not so bullish for me. ES, very bullish. Not very, but bullish. Why? Because it's still holding here. This is still a good level for the ES. So it's interesting, right? You got a little bit of bullishness on the ES. Can the ES save the market here? Can the ES push today and sort of save the market today? I don't mind seeing the ES hold this level, right? I know it was very aggressive yesterday, but is there a bounce here off this level? I'm interested. So, this is 4380, big level, right? 4380 is the big level. Here's a few things that I would watch there, right? What is holding the ES? Different sectors. The ES is diversified. XLE, right? XLP, which is a monster. XLV holding up very strong. I'm sure there's more, but that's the most part of it. Yeah, I mean, XLP is just an absolute beast, guys. And that helps the ES. So you guys can see we have that level. Now, what should we watch for? Well, first thing we should watch for is this rejection right here, 44.50, right? So if I zoom into this, 44.50 is the first level to watch today if you get upside, right? Why? Because it's a previous support that turned into resistance, that turned into resistance, that turned into resistance. And if we get a push, you're going to either see this, right? You're going to see this where you actually hold it, right? Here's another scenario today. Or you're just going to see the slip under 43.80, right? Maybe you get this, you start to turn it into rejections, and then you start to slip down lower, right? So this is how you should be looking at levels, right? You should always have these levels on your charts. You guys can see I have, here's my game plan. Here's one, right? One, game plan two, game plan three, right? So you either get the push into 44.50, the rejection, you get the push through 44.50, the hold, or you get the slip under the key hold and you get it turning into resistance and you slip to the downside, right? So this is what I'm watching here. You have, two obvious key levels, 43.80 and 44.50. Those are the two that I'm watching today. If you break 43.80, I will show you guys on the daily chart. I think there is downside to be had, guys. If you break this 43.80, which I talked about in my video yesterday, if you break this 43.80, you have all of this void to fill. You have a very big void down here to fill. Under 43.80, you have a void until 42.65. There is nothing here, right? Nothing. There's nothing here to hold this move up. This is actually interesting because the lows is actually the previous inverse head and shoulder I played. Look at that. I didn't even realize that. The previous lows, this 42.65 level is the inverse head and shoulder that I played back in October and caught a monster move to the upside. Obviously, different market then than it is now. But you guys can see 43.80, and if it comes lower, motion at my front door. Who's there? One of you guys? Let's see who's at my door. Hold on, guys. Oh, landscaper. The landscapers are always at the front door. So, yeah, 43.80. If you drop that, 42.65. That's what I'd watch. And then to the upside, 44.50. Okay? Bill's at my door. Okay. So next, the Dow. Dow had a nasty rejection, right? Just with the overall market, but it is still holding this uptrend, right? Still holding this uptrend. So here is I'm not uptrend. I'm sorry, holding above the breakout. Go ahead and zoom in here. Here we go. I'm just here to talk about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So you guys can see you had this downtrend on the Dow, and it finally broke out, right? You got your breakout on the Dow Jones. Now you came back, you rejected here. Look how clean that rejection was. We talked about this level, right? I didn't make this level today. It happened, this is just where it rejected. We made this level yesterday. So you can see we pushed higher, rejected off this top, this double top, came back down, and we are holding this little previous high and the downtrend. So I don't mind that, right? Because you can see the Dow is trying to hold a previous high. If we go to the hourly chart right here, which is actually a pretty decent looking sign, but we'll have to see how the Dow continuation is. So you got a little bit of a push higher. You're trying to make a higher low right here. You can see that right here, previous resistance turning into support. So can the Dow push back up, back into the 35s, or do we fail this 34.6 and move back down to these lows, right? If you fail this level here on the Dow, you are going to move back to these lows. If you hold this level, you have a chance to move back to these this double top. So watch out for the Dow. Let's see where the rotation is today there. Russell, back to its old ways. Why was it? I'm not even surprised. This is an absolute chop fest. I don't see how you can even look at this chart. Just a total waste of time. Look at this. For the entire year. The entire year it has done this. I would almost bet that it does this for the entire 2022, guys. I could almost bet that it does it. I think I would put money on it. It did it here, right? It's just doing it at a lower level. So just a total waste of time. I think it's going to do this exact thing. If you were to copy paste this move, I think it's going to do that exact thing here for the entire year. Just there. Russell Westbrook and Russell 2K had similar years. That's good. That's actually a really good one. So yeah, I think this just happens here, and I would not look to do anything with it. All right, Tesla. So yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, guys, I really like the earnings that they had. I think they were great earnings. The market's just not accepting it, which is, it is what it is. That's what sometimes the market does. It just does not, even how good at corporate earnings is, it just does not allow, it doesn't allow a stock to get going. So you guys can see here, Tesla pushed higher on earnings, starting to reject around that 1180, 1190. 1100. That scared the shit out of me. And you can see we got that rejection right here around 1090, 1080, around 1100, right? So all up in here. Yeah, you could sell a Condor, but it's not going to be very profitable, trust me, because they're not dumb, guys. Those premiums are going to be dead. They're not going to give you a good premium on a Condor when they know that the stock's been going sideways forever. All right, the premiums are going to be dead. So, you could give it a shot if you want to make like $10. Probably guaranteed $10 or something. Give it a shot. See what you get for it. See what the credit is. So you can see, Tesla pushed higher in the 1090. You got your rejections. Got your pullback, and you are back below a pretty important level of 1030 here. Right here, right around 1030 is where it failed last time. So you can see previous resistance turns into support and then turns into potential resistance again. So I'm watching Tesla over 1030. This is where it had trouble getting over in the previous days. If we go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see, right? Look at this right here. See how it is? See how it struggled to get over this 1030 on Tuesday? It struggled again on Wednesday pre-market. And then when it got on earnings, it got through. But look how quickly you rejected and you got right back under 1030. And actually intraday yesterday, you tried to maybe do a little push over 1030 right here, and you failed it once again. So the fact that Tesla is right back below that resistance is not a good sign to me. I would look to see, right, if this Nasdaq, guys, remember, here's how you play this, right? If this Nasdaq does scenario 2, where it pushes higher and rejects, right? If the Nasdaq does the scenario where it pushes higher and rejects, well, guess what Tesla's going to do? Tesla is going to push higher and it's going to reject, right? And if you start to see that rejection on the Nasdaq, then I would look to see for the rejection on Tesla at 1030, 1025. For sure. So that's what I would look for. Okay. NVIDIA. Ugly flush yesterday on NVIDIA, guys. Just really killing the entire chart, I think. You guys can see right here. Not good. So here was your support. And look at the knife. The knife has pierced the armor. For sure. Support, and boom. Right through. So, yeah, I'm not too hopeful here for NVIDIA. Maybe it gives a little bit of a fake push into 210, and then you get your rejection. That's what I would look for personally. If you push back into the 210s, I think you're going to have a real tough time here. And you might even come back down, because that is exactly what an AMD did. So if we go to AMD, actually it never even quite made it back. It almost did. I think if we go to the 4 hour, it almost did. But AMD, if we go to the 4 hour, you can see after breaking that key level, it tried to bounce back. Oh, actually it did right here, same day, or next day. You can see it tried to bounce back and it rejected. And ever since that rejection, it's just been making lower highs and, oh God, that's ugly. Lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs, lower lows, right? Lower high, lower low, right? And that's all it's been doing. So I think NVIDIA follows the same path, for now at least. Unfortunately, it hurts to say, but that is not a good breakdown here on NVIDIA, guys. That is not a good breakdown. So I would look to see a 209 rejection today. Ugly flush. Google. Major level on Google here, guys. Right? Look, it's right there. It's the last line. See, 2,500. Right in there. 2,500. You have a support. You have a support. You have a little bit of support here, a little bit higher on this one. And then you have 2,500 again here. So what happens here? Does Google get the knife also? If it does, downside is definitely there. If you get a bounce, maybe you come back into this channel, you reject off this again, right? You start to trade here, maybe you come back down. So I still think you're going to be stuck in this channel. I don't think this is like, hey, this is a huge buying opportunity for all-time highs. Maybe there's some movement, but this market just does not seem to warrant any type of upside right now on the tech market. So it's tough to say, but just sharing this level with you guys. This is a big level on Google, 2,500. It's a major pivot level for this entire year. So it's something you definitely want to be watching right there. Support. Does it hold again? I'd watch out for that today, guys. Let's see what happens. Could be great opportunity to either side. All right, we're going to look at Apple real quick to cover up the mistake that I made on the calendar. So here's Apple, guys. Apple, again, is just a really tough stock to analyze. Now, why do I say that, right? I'm saying that because I don't see anything of strength or anything of structure in between 180 and 150. I just don't see anything that gives me a previous low, previous high. It's like a very choppy chart in here. Everywhere in here is just really choppy. So if we go to the weekly chart, we can sort of see it, right? The real structure is not until this 150 or this 180. There's really nothing in here that gives me much confidence to either direction. So it seems like as of right now, Apple's just getting pushed and pulled with the Nasdaq. That's really all that's happening. Apple is either going up with the Nasdaq, going down with the Nasdaq. When the Nasdaq's strong, Apple has a good day. When the Nasdaq's weak, Apple has a bad day. And even yesterday was interesting because Apple was actually outperforming for almost the entire day. Was it yesterday or the day prior? I think it was yesterday. Let me go. Yeah, it was. It was yesterday. So yesterday, Apple was going higher until 11:30, and the Nasdaq at 11:30. I mean, look at the Nasdaq, right, guys? This was the Nasdaq all day. 11:30, the Nasdaq was on a slip and slide, just going straight down, and Apple was going up. So very strange, price action for Apple yesterday. Probably a little bit of earnings run up potentially. That's what some of the people in the chat were talking about. So yeah, I think it's just a push and pull right now, and earnings are coming up. I have no basis for any type of analysis here on Apple. None. I can't tell you. It just, look at this. It's just in the middle of nothing. So you just can't guess what happens. It's not gonna end well. Trying to guess what happens here. All right. Next, Facebook. Absolutely destroyed. Absolutely wrecked. Absolutely clapped. Absolutely Bill Aikman. Yeah. Wow. So I'm just shocked at how quickly this happened. 2 days, guys. 2 days. And that was 12% in 2 days. And yesterday just looked terrible. Oh man. I mean, watching this thing on the 1 minute chart, it was ugly. So you guys can see right here, just downside all day. And if we put that old 9 EMA on, look at the morning here, right? So how do you trade Facebook? How do you hold on to Facebook, right? You use the 5 minute and 1 minute 9 EMA, right? So once Facebook gets going here, once the downside continues, right? Look at the blue line and the green line. So here's a 5 minute 9 EMA touch. Here's an entry. That right there is a beautiful entry. And I'll actually give you an example on Shopify from yesterday. So beautiful entry here, 9 EMA. Look at the 9 EMA. Look at it. Look at how it's holding below it. Look how it can't get above that line. It just can't get above the blue line. Here, another entry. Right? Another 9 EMA, 5 minute entry. Here we go. You're starting to go sideways, so here's where I'd probably get out. You're just sort of chopping at this point. Here's the red line, 15 minute 9 EMA, perfect entry. All right, look at this. Still sliding under. Still holding below the EMAs. And then here you just sort of get messy. All right. What the hell happened here? Aftermarket. So these EMAs, this example right here, guys, this is an example of when the EMAs are extremely strong. I mean, they're like cheat codes, but it's only because it's in a strong move to the downside. It's in a strong momentum move. When there's strong momentum, the EMAs are literally cheat codes. You could have just used the EMA to make every decision yesterday on Facebook, right? You could have just looked at the EMA and said, okay, as long as it's below both the green and blue line, I am holding my puts. As soon as I see it break above, then I'll get out. And that would have made you a lot of money. Shopify is another one that, shout out to Moby, if Moby's in the chat here. So we were looking at shop puts yesterday, right? And Shopify broke down, right? Shopify broke to new lows. And Shopify was holding that 9 EMA on the 1 minute and 5 minute, right? Look at all these rejections. Push, rejection, push, rejection, push, rejection, push, rejection, push. 9 EMA 5 minute, beautiful entry, right? Downside, push. A little bit choppy here, not going to lie. That was a little bit choppy. Probably would have faked some people out. Then you get back onto the thing, right? Look at all these. Just chilling below the EMAs. So, nice stuff. When there's something in a strong rejection, when there's something that's really strongly moving in one direction, the EMAs are just insanely strong. Something I would watch, guys. All right. So Facebook, I just wanted to show you one more thing on Facebook, which was the daily chart. Let me turn off the EMAs. Okay. Back on the daily. Just wanted to show you this, guys, which is the low of 185. Right here, guys. Look at this. So, I mean, if this breaks, right? If this breaks, which I'd be shocked if it broke today, but if it breaks, 185, yeah, that's the 9 and 40. Correct. Let's go to all time here on Facebook. I mean, you are back. You are back at the last time Facebook was at this price. It was April 23rd, 2020. So basically back at COVID levels, virus levels here. If you drop this 185, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go. I mean, there's a lot of levels to watch out for. You got 173. You got the lows of 160s. You have the COVID lows of 136. So there's a lot of lows here. But yeah, let's see what happens let's see if it holds 185 today. That's going to be real interesting. Okay. Here we go. Here's the crap tech that I was talking about, guys. So here's PayPal. And look, PayPal has still done nothing crazy. And I think it's at COVID lows. Isn't that something? I mean, PayPal is literally at COVID lows. So that's pretty astonishing to me. 85 is where PayPal is probably going. You can see it has made new lows after a fake bounce, new lows. And could you imagine PayPal under these lows? It's possible. It's possible. PayPal, a less company that is worth less than it was at the peak of panic during COVID-19, right? Crazy. Just the market just does not buy this stock. Nothing. Square's another one. Not quite back at the lows and still pretty far extended over virus lows. So I will give Square a little bit of the doubt, a little benefit of the doubt here. Definitely outperforming its counterpart PayPal for quite a bit. So I will give Square a little bit of respect. But you can see that thing is coming back down as well. Peloton is just a total crapshoot. You guys can see Peloton new lows, probably coming back to March. We got Roblox, new lows, heavy lows, 34 all-time lows on Roblox. That's another crap stock. Etsy, probably doing the same thing. Yep, Etsy, not quite back at COVID lows, but making new lows and probably going to continue. That's ugly. Right? Look at all these stocks, guys. Zoom, probably another one. Yep, Zoom's probably about to make new lows. COVID lows were back around 76. That's probably where that's heading. What else? There's a lot. There's a whole lot. 1-800-Flowers. Yeah, I can guarantee you that's doing. Tattooed Chef, which everyone loves. Congrats if you love Tattooed Chef. You're doing really well on it. $9.30. What else? There's a lot. Roku, probably one of the worst ones. Look at this. New lows. Roku. No, J&J is not a crap tech stock. 99. Let's see if Roku goes under 100 today. SE, yeah, it's another one. SE, another one. New lows coming in. Probably coming back to 52. Remember when I made the video saying that I think SC comes down to 52? I still believe it does. Absolutely. I still believe it comes down to this 52. So, yeah, guys, basically the only reason I'm doing this, the only reason I'm showing you all this is because I need people to understand that this market is so selective. There is very little stuff that is actually somewhat holding up. Very little stocks that are actually in favor. Very little names that, actually people are putting their money into. And this is very different. This is very, very different than the previous years in the stock market. And you have to understand that because in the previous years of the stock market, in 2020, in 2019, 2018, it was buy everything. And, high tech or high growth and, high multiple stocks were rewarded. People were comfortable with them, and now that is a total change. There's no love for these names, and you have to be very careful about what crap tech stocks that you buy, because some of these are never going to come back. I strongly believe in that, right? I really like a stock like Roku. I don't think Roku ever comes back to where it was, guys. I don't think there's any chance, right? I don't understand Kathy Wood buying this stock still. I don't see any way. I mean, I'd put 10 G's on it. If someone wanted to make me a wager, does Roku ever trade back above 490, excluding any reverse stock splits? I think I'd win that one. I mean, that is hard to see a stock like Roku back up at these levels. I think that you'll never see this again. Strongly believe that. Other stocks maybe, but like a stock like Roku, which I just don't get it, I don't think so. All right, so that just basically telling you to be careful. Just be careful. You can't just buy everything these days, guys. Okay, Boeing. So we talked about this. We talked about this rejection on Boeing in the live stream. Just making sure people were aware of it, and you guys can see. Look how nice that worked out. So look at this. You guys can see previous support. You push higher into it, and you get a really clean rejection off of it. Right? That's just a really clean break and retest. Right? You can see it right here. Push higher, break. Right? You break and retest, and you reject off of a previous support. If we go to the 5-minute chart, or let's go to the 1 minute, you guys can see it sort of showed itself over the last few days, right? Look at the last 3 days here at 188. So you got rejection, you push into it, big wick, rejection. So just be careful here on Boeing, guys. If you are getting any type of bullishness, be careful at 188. I know the airlines have looked pretty good, like UAL looks good, nice upgrade this morning. There's been some positivity around airlines, but just don't get caught up on Boeing here. As good as it may look on an intraday chart, please be careful here at 189. This is a very tough level. You need to see this before you get in. You need to see this before you get in, right? You need to see this. You need to start seeing it hold this level before you get in. Not, let me take a shot here and hope that it goes through. Okay, finally, what I got for you, and then we'll get into what the members want to look at real quick. Just want to show you guys 2 double tops on oil stocks. CVX, huge double top right here, really ugly. And then XOM, big double top here on XOM, right? So just wanted to share that. XLE did have a little pullback yesterday, right? Remember we talked about how the XLE always pulls back to the 20 SMA? Well, look at what it did yesterday, guys. All right, this is why you don't chase stocks. You can see that every time the XLE deviates from the 20, it comes back. Deviation comes back. Deviation comes back. Now you look to see if we hold here, right? Now you look to see if we hold here, because if we do, this is just a buying opportunity, right? That's just a buying opportunity if we hold here. So watch out for XLE today. I think it's a good sector to keep an eye out for. All right, now we're going to go over to what the members want to look at. If you guys could just take 1 second, press the like button for me. That would be fantastic. All right, let's go. Baba is slightly higher this morning for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't really trust anything that Baba does. So if it's up, I'm not going to play it to the upside, to be honest. I'll just, watch it. But you guys can see Baba is in a gap. And I would probably look to see if you could play it to the gap, $80. I'm not sure why it's up this morning. I'd have to look into it, see if it's actually a real reason or if it's just a little gap up on the Asian markets. But if it is just a fake push, then I would be looking for the gap fill. Just look to see how the price action is. But yeah, that's what I'd look for, the gap fill. Ulta, that's the next one here. Break and retest of all-time high. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Hong Kong. Yeah, that's just the Asian markets up. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of there. Just see if you can get a feel for the retailers and see if they hold up today. This move is probably going to slow down eventually, but yeah, I would look to see if it holds 417, 418 for sure. Keep an eye on these highs. See if it holds it. You want to see it start to hold it first, right? You don't just buy it here because you don't just buy it here because it pulled back. You got to wait for it to start to hold, right? And then you take a play. So wait, just keep an eye on the chart. Keep an eye on that 417, 420 area. See if it starts to hold. That's what I would do. Lulu, yeah, Lulu failed, right? This is a fail of a break and retest right here, guys. Someone asked me the other day, does it ever fail? It does. Of course it does. This is it right here. You guys can see we wanted to see Lulu hold this previous high, and it slipped under it yesterday. So this setup is no longer valid. Have no interest in it. I looked past it, right? Did not hold the retest of 385. You can see we are right back under. I'm not interested anymore. Maybe it comes down to 360s. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you said, I would look for 360s to the downside. Right here. Previous pivot low. I would look for it to come back to here, and then maybe it finds some support off this level. Okay, that's Lulu. Caterpillar. Cat moved up into its resistance, right? The resistance that I have just drawn out here. So it came right into it. Look at what happened when it hit it. So, yeah, Caterpillar still pushing higher, but it came right into this resistance level at 235, so be careful there. After that, you got 245. So this is still tough, guys. I'm not a chaser of Cat here, unfortunately, because I did get out on a little pullback last week, and, it definitely sort of faked me out. But I'm not a chaser of Cat here. This is a big level of 235, and I would be careful there at 235. Maybe you see some downside off that move, but the momentum's still strong to the upside. So I wouldn't be either here, guys. I need to see like multiple days of rejection, and then I play the downside. I'm not going to just play the downside on the first red day, and I'm not going to play the upside into support. So for me, this is just a no trade all around, right? If you short here, you're shorting into strong momentum. If you buy here, you're buying into a heavy resistance. So you need to wait for it to show itself a little bit more. AbbVie. Yeah, AbbVie's trying to hold this, looks like this 156.50 SMA level on the daily chart. That sort of seems like what it wants to hold, but I think AbbVie moves down to 150, guys. That's my belief. So if you want my opinion, I think AbbVie moves down to 150. I think that's where it needs to come. Netflix, Netflix is going to be a really shitty trade, guys, here. It's going to start to get wild down here, so please be careful. You don't want to trade Netflix anymore, guys. I think if you missed it, you missed it. Because, guys, this is what Netflix did yesterday while the Nasdaq basically got taken apart, the Nasdaq. And this is what Netflix did. What does that tell you? It's a very unrelated and uncorrelated move to the overall market. I don't want to be involved in something like this. Netflix went absolutely sideways. And Nasdaq was down almost 3%. So it's going to get interesting. This is going to be a dangerous stock to trade moving forward in this, after this big drop. If you missed this, guys, I would just accept that you missed it. That's what I would do. I promise it'll save you money. The fact that Netflix did not respond to the Nasdaq yesterday scared the crap out of me. I had no interest in it. Okay, yeah, AMR. You guys can see someone probably looking at it because of this. Break and retest right here. So, nice little break and retest on AMR. Just see if it holds 138. And then finally, we got Microsoft. Microsoft doing the same thing Google's doing. And it didn't quite break down yet. So, it's still sort of valid here, Microsoft. We'll see if it... So, buy the dip. I don't know if I would be buying the dip on a stock like that. They are projecting to lose 2 million subs next quarter. They're the first quarter ever losing subs. It doesn't seem like it's a good investment unless you want to sit on it maybe for 50 years, which is probably gone in the next 50 anyway. So, I don't know. I don't know if Netflix is something I'd buy. So you guys can see 280 on Microsoft continues to try to hold. At the very least, I think Microsoft can come down to 270. And maybe still have some support at these lows here, at the lows of this area. Yeah, 270 for sure. That's definite. Yeah, 270 for sure. Maybe 270, maybe 280. We'll see which one holds. There's still possibility for a bounce, guys, but Yeah, you need more. You need more. I hope you guys sort of get a feel for what's going on in the market. That's the biggest thing. You need to understand the feeling in the market. The feeling in the market is not allowing tech stocks to move higher. The sentiment, the macro factors, there is just no juice on the Nasdaq. Just think about it, gas tank, right? Full F to E. The gas tank on the Nasdaq is literally blinking at E. I mean, there is nothing there that's going to help it. There's no momentum in the tech market. So you just have to understand that, right? As good as some technicals look for bounces, there's just nothing there to help the Nasdaq. Everything's working against it. So it's just not a time to there's better times to get that push, right? You feel sorry for me? I feel sorry for you. What the hell? So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Let's see what happens. Let's be smart today. It is Friday, 0 DTE. So why did you buy Microsoft? Why did I buy Microsoft? I buy shares. Yeah, I'm gonna buy shares every day, as much as I can. I don't think Microsoft's. Why do I keep buying it in my M1 Finance account, Paul? You should look up the thing of dollar cost averaging. You should look up dollar cost averaging and long-term investing. All right, that's something that's worth looking into. So I will not invest for my 50s and 60s because the market is slowing down at the last 3 months. 3 months over a 50-year period is a drop in the bucket. So a lot of people have problems thinking long term, and that's okay. Everyone likes to think short term, but that's just a really dumb. I'm sorry, that's a really bad statement. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Oh, you're learning. Okay, you're only 13. You're only 13. All right, I take it back. Look up dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging. Look it up. Look up long-term investing. Dollar cost averaging. That's a good thing to look up for your. If you're actually 13, then you should absolutely be dollar cost averaging. 100%. I just roasted a 13. My bad, man. Sorry. I can't tell. So if you're actually 13, please look up dollar cost averaging. It'll be the best thing you'll ever do for yourself. My bad. All right, guys. It's all in love. It's all in love. I hope you guys know that when I get a little spicy, it's because I want people to know, I want people to understand, how to proceed in the market with the proper mindset. There's a lot of mindsets that are really just really toxic and not what's the word I'm looking for? Not productive. There's a lot of you need a productive mindset here. You need to focus on your future, invest for the long term, right? And save your money and don't put all of your money into options, right? There's productive mindsets and then there's toxic mindsets, and I do it because I want to see people, have that same mindset. So I hope you understand that. When I get a little bit aggressive, it's just, all in love. So thank you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and I hope to see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Peace out, guys.